What's going on, everybody? This is Renegade #1, aka the Feminist Killer. One thing that all of us all of us have to understand is we are no longer men anymore. You are no longer to call yourself a male. You are no longer to identify as that gender anymore. And I'm not saying that in a gender neutral sense. I'm saying that in a spiritual sense. If you listen to your male nature, you will always be enslaved to your desires. You will always be a part of the matrix. And you being a slave to your male and desires means you following your sexual desires. You believing that you should be chivalrous, that you should be in a state of disadvantage to allow the female to be in a state of advantage. You understand? That's not. Society tells you what a man is, so that way you live up to that. It's a Houdini act. And the saddest thing is, most men don't get it. They're taught not to be emotional. Everything we've been taught was actually a disadvantage for us. You need to be emotional. You need to be more in touch with your intuition. Your intuition helps you on a higher sense, on a spiritual sense. You know, it helps you see the spiritual war that we're in. Most of us men, we will never be able to, most of us as the male species, or the XY chromosome, I don't know what else to call it, but we have been disabled. We have the magical ability to open our third eye. We have the ability to have a sixth sense. And our sixth sense is being able to see the spiritual conflicts around us. And men can't do that. Men were taught not to feel. Men were taught not to have great intuition. We were taught to be, everything that a man's been taught is all superficial. And that's something that you have to deviate from. You should have deviated already. You understand? You have to morph yourself into a different entity, a different structure, a different organism. And I'm saying that not in a literal sense, because you're always going to be a male, but change your behavior. You no longer behave like a man anymore. They always tell you, like I said, if you don't do for a woman, you're not a real man. If you don't act rugged and you show emotion, you're not a man. Those are shaming tactics. And those same basic, generic, childish shaming tactics, those things have kept men suppressed for so long. You know, you got men who are insecure about themselves. They think that if they don't live up to these things of being a violent person, being an emotionless person, being a person that has endless sex with all of these women, that they are a failure as a man. They believe that their father, if they don't live up to what their father says, who's also been indoctrinated by the matrix and the belief of what a man should be, if they don't live up to their father's beliefs, then they fail. Stop allowing other people's beliefs to dictate what your success is as a man, as an individual. My bad. That's something that I have to break. I keep messing up on, calling you a man, but you're no longer a man anymore. You are an extraterrestrial. You are a foreign entity that most of these people on this planet cannot comprehend. So therefore, if most people can't comprehend you, what can you call yourself? You're an alien. In the literal, in the physical sense. When you walk outside and you spit this type of knowledge, people are looking at you like, what the fuck is he talking about? Because they can't, they're earthlings. They're glued to the earth. You got men who are slaves to their desires. They are, you know, their male nature has engulfed them. They can't think outside of that. This is the psychological understanding. When you understand people psychologically, the number one thing that they do is think about how much money they're making, food, and sex. That's animalistic behavior. You are in a simulation to where all they give you is those three options. You are not an animal anymore. You broke out of that prison. But as long as you continue to have the same mindset that you've had prior to this, watching this video, at any point of, you know, whether day, tomorrow, whatever, in any time in the future, if you continue to have the same mindset, you're going to be enslaved. You will never be able to drive forward. You will always be in park or reverse. Period. And so that goes for religion. That goes for what it means to be masculine. You have to abandon this false belief of what masculinity is. It's not about being hard. That's an insecurity. We have this belief that masculinity is all superficial. It's not about being, like I said, it's not about being tough. It's not about having big muscles. It's not about hating on another man. It's not about how many women you've fucked. It's not about that. That should not define you. That should not make or break you as an individual. If we as a collective are looked at as, you know, we're not looked at as men, so be it. We have to accept and roll with the punches that society throws at us. That's the beauty behind being black pilled. That's the beauty behind being an extraterrestrial and going against the grain and being the renegade. If you cannot handle negative criticism, if you cannot handle the shit that, you know, people talk at us and say that we're not men, you're not really a renegade. Because part of being a renegade is not just calling yourself a renegade, but having the mental capacity and the mental fortitude and toughness to handle all of these peasants that come at us. We are the kings. They are the peasants. They are the peasants because they allow themselves to work for a government that does not care about them. So who's really the slaves? They're enslaved mentally. We've broken from the mind controls the body. So if you break yourself from the mind, break yourself mentally, you are free. Free mind is a free body. And that's how you have to think. You have to change. You have to morph. You know? So my thing is, when it comes to masculinity, when it comes to religion, when it comes to the idea of success, most people go in a 360 circle, a 360 degree circle of denial. You have to break out of that 360 degree circle of denial. Can you handle being called mentally ill, being called crazy? People fear what they don't understand. If they don't understand it, they're scared, they deviate from it, they demonize it, they cast a spell on it in a negative light. That's how it is. You got people, like I said in my last video, a lot of people got upset by the fact that I said there is no God. God is a man-made idea, gentlemen. That was a construct to keep you plugged in the matrix. We've all been ran through the machine since you were born. The first thing you do when you're born is do what? You go through K-12 education. In K-12 education, you're being indoctrinated like that. And you're not even thinking about that. Then they throw religion on you as well. Your thoughts are not your own. You have to remove the thoughts of the matrix that's been instilled in you. Your parents have taught you the matrix because your parents work for the matrix. When you're born into this world, you're not born red pill. You're born blue pill. It's just that simple. You know? And this leads me to my next thing. I'm getting tired of MGTOW, to be honest with you. And that's not anything to say I'm going back to women or back to the plantation or any of that other corny shit. What I'm saying is, men in the manosphere or MGTOW, red pill, red pill or black pill, it's like they're stuck in park. They're stuck in a dormant state. They're stuck on women. We know about that already. You're either going to move forward or you're going to move backwards. You can't just stay in park forever. And I'm at that point where I want to be in the D position, driving forward. I want to drive myself forward. I want to push myself forward to reach that higher potential spiritually. I want to be at that state of mind where I'm numb to all of this bullshit that's around me. I want you to be at that state to where you're numb to the bullshit around you. But you have to do the changes. I can't do the changes for you. I can sit here all day long, make 1,000 videos. But if you don't take the stuff serious, if you don't put in the work to sit your ass down to read the book, I put a book in the link in the zero tolerance video that I made about a month ago. How many of you guys actually read that book? We have to read. We have to apply ourselves with good knowledge. Now the problem is, you have to be selective on what type of knowledge that you listen to, because you can be misinformed. Period. So if you're stuck on one thing forever, which is the whole concept that women aren't shit, we're not gonna be able to evolve. Whether you agree or disagree, that's on you. I don't have time for emotional men. I don't. You need to be intelligent, be smart, let the ego go or manage it. If you can't do those things, you're in danger of being trapped in the matrix forever. I was talking with a brother and he was in a state of denial about God not being real. He said without God, there is no purpose for him. That is a weak mentality. He's been victimized mentally. He's been brainwashed. He's dead. And I'm just letting you guys know right now, if you think like that, you think you can't live a righteous life without some so-called man-made religion that's been made to keep you programmed and indoctrinated and enslaved, then you're going to be doomed forever. You understand? Jesus, Lucifer, like I said, we are the traitors. We are the Lucifers to the Christians. That is slavery. That's weaponry. If you believe in religion, then you believe in government. If you don't believe in government but believe in religion, you are contradicting yourself, and you need to sit the fuck down and you need to figure out, how does that even make sense? Religion, or people who believe in God, they always say, oh, it's not a religion, it's a spiritual connection. Bullshit. Religion is a form of government. It's meant to govern your mind. It's meant to control your mind. Don't convince yourself to believe in something because millions of other people believe in it. You understand? You need to live life. You only get one life. This is hell on earth, if you want to talk in terms of hell and heaven. Dealing with other people. It's funny. You are a victim of the biggest trick in history, which is the belief in God. You've been tricked. And I'm trying to remove you from being the butt of the joke. Because if you still believe in God, you are the butt of a huge joke. Period. What happens when we die? We go to the fifth dimension. Nothing. When we leave, we're going to be in a state of rest. State of rest. That's it. There is no heaven or hell. That's the biggest trick. They use positive reinforcement to reel you in. I know how to get everybody to believe in this religion. Tell them that they go to heaven if they do believe in God. Tell them they can go to hell if they don't believe in God. Does that sound like some shit that actually sounds real? Or does that sound like somebody shaming you into believing their lie? You're being shamed. Use your brain. Use your brain. That's all I'm asking. You know, but unfortunately, I can't save everybody. If you want to remain on the plantation, be on the plantation. And again, it's not just with women that you're on the plantation. If you're enslaved mentally, you're not removed from the matrix. You may not even be dealing with women, but if you believe in God, you're still on the plantation. If you believe that people give a fuck about you, you're still on the plantation. It's survival of the fittest out in here. It's survival of the fittest. So get out of that dangerous, deadly circle called the 360-degree circle of denial, because you'll always be running around in that. Period. And the most dangerous thing is, some of you guys will never understand anything I just said. Some of you guys are just not intelligent enough to understand what I just said. And I'm not throwing shade. There's just some people that don't have the mental capacity to understand that. You understand? Most of you are a horny female away from being right back to where you were initially, to before you discovered MGTOW. That's why I want to leave MGTOW. MGTOW's it's a joke. Period. We're not talking about advancing. I'm about advancing. I care about you as a brother. You know, that's why for me, I'm still going to be talking about all of this good stuff, this good content, and it's not going to change. For me, I'm not going to continue to, you know, ride on a car that's not going nowhere, that's staying in park. It's like everybody is just sitting in the car, not doing anything, just talking about nothing over and over again. Now is the time. If you haven't waken up, wake up right now. You were born today. This is the day you was born, and you discovered that, hey, I understand humanity for what it is. Humanity is a huge game. Some people are born with an advantage, but you have to undo the K-12 indoctrination, the IC. You have to undo the belief in professionalism in the workplace. You have to battle with being competitive for women. You have to battle with being competitive for resources like money. Those are the realities that you must remove yourself from. Do not be the rat. Don't be another delusional rat thinking that they can climb the mountain to get the cheese on the top. Because that's what people are. They try to fill your head up with all this false positivity. Oh, you can do anything. Work hard, work hard, work hard, and you can get it done. Work hard. They encourage you to do that with all that positivity so they can get you to fall for that trap. They're luring you into the sewer. Kind of like the movie It, where the clown said, oh, I got popcorn down here, and he's drooling at the mouth. That's how the people that run the Matrix are. They're like the clown. They're like Pennywise the clown. They lure you in. Once they get you within distance, they snap your fucking arm off, and it's too late. So that's what I'm saying. It's best to just go ahead and remove yourself. It's best to go ahead and to evolve. Drop all the lies you've been told about what it is to be a man. Drop the religion that's used to enslave your mind to keep you from advancing forward to better yourself. And again, don't believe people are out here for your best interests. If they're not on this type of information, they're not about spiritual warfare and metaphysics, they are your enemy. You have, and that's the fear that most of us don't want to go to, is that once we get to the point of being black pilled and we rise above our physical frame, you're going to start to look at things differently and realize you have more enemies than you intended to have. But it's not about how many enemies you have, it's about how strong you are. Because the strength of your mind, you can fight through it. You have the ability to. If you have the passion and the dedication, you can do it. Don't let nobody tell you you can't do it. If you feel like I'm full of shit, unsubscribe. It's real simple. But yeah, man, stay on your purpose. Your purpose is a new purpose. Abandon the old mindset you had today and yesterday. Tomorrow, or right now until the future, to the day you die. You are on a quest to becoming a spiritual being. You are on a quest to bettering your life on a mental basis, meditating, dumping those old acronyms that you had. You are no longer a man in this society. If this society says you're not a man, fuck this society. This society ain't for you. This world isn't for you. Don't ever allow somebody to shame you into conformity, into slavery. That's all men have been treated as. We have been treated as slaves, providers, which is a servant. We are providers for women. What kind of shit is that? We are servants to women, and all we get is vagina. That's not a good deal, gentlemen. That's not a good deal. So we gotta become the extraterrestrials. We are aliens. You understand? But this is Renegade #1. Like the video, share, subscribe. Peace out.